Hello my dear friends, welcome to Series English. My name is Antonia Ramacher and today we're going to talk about two different kinds of participles. A present participle and a past participle. For some of my students, this topic might not be so interesting and exciting because this topic is quite understandable, logical and more or less easy. So here you just need to see the logic, grasp it, remember it, and then you won't have any problems. So let's take a look at a couple of common mistakes made by some of my intermediate students. So one of my students keeps saying, I am interesting, instead of I'm interested. Like, I'm interested in winter sports. This is what you are supposed to say, but he says, I am interesting in winter sports. To tell the truth, this sounds a little bit funny if you say I'm interesting, because you mean that you are the person who makes other people feel interested. So they like you, they think that you are interesting. There's something in you which makes you look unusual, which makes you stand out, and so you are interesting. You say that you are interesting, so this is the meaning. But if you say that you are interested, it means that you have this interest, and something else makes you feel interested, excited about it. So you are actually passive here. So you do not do anything to attract other people, other things. You are interested by something else. Okay, so, and here we have interesting, a present participle, and interested, a past participle. They are also called active and passive. So present participle is active and past participle is passive. Now, very quickly, let's take a look at how these two are formed. It's quite easy here. So present participle or active participle is formed by adding the ending ing. So we just add this ending ing. By the way, there are some special rules which you need to know when you add this ending. Take a look at them right now, very quickly, scan them. If you know it, then just skip and let's move on. So ing, like interesting, exciting, reading, smoking, and so on. And past participle or passive participle is formed by adding the ending ed. By the way, here there are also some rules which you need to follow. Take a look very quickly, scan, sneak a peek. And there's the second case with irregular verbs which have irregular forms, unusual forms, not typical. So here you need to take the third form. And so it should be written down past participle. That's what you need. For example, read, 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 you take the third form, read. Write, wrote, written, you take the third form, written, and so on. So this is quite easy. This is how present participle and past participle are formed. So now let's get to the bottom of this. I mean, how we're supposed to differentiate. So interesting and interested, exciting and excited, reading and read. Once again, if you use a present participle, it means that the noun or the pronoun which this participle is connected to is active. Like a reading boy is a boy who is reading. Right now, he is active, he is doing something. And a read book is passive. The book is not doing anything. It is passive. It is read by somebody else. Now let's take a look at a couple of more examples. Let's take washing. Present participle, washing. I am washing my car in my bikini. Joking. Like Edie Britt from Desperate Housewives. Anyway, I'm washing my car. Washing. And as you can see here, present participle can be a part of continuous tense forms. It is always the part of continuous tense forms. Present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. All continuous tenses. Now, the second example. You can say a washing agent, a washing liquid, a washing powder. So these are all substances which help you wash something. So they are to some extent active. Even though they are just objects, they still help you do this job of washing something. Also, washing machine. Here the machine is 100% active. You are doing nothing actually. Your hands are free for some other kinds of stuff. Anyway, and she was busy washing the dishes, or she was busy washing dishes. Here she is busy and she is washing. So she is active, she's doing the job, that's why it is present participle. And you can use it in the constructions like this. She was busy washing dishes. And a couple of examples with the past participle. The washed car is shining. So it is so clean that you can see your reflection. The washed car. The car has been washed and now it is clean. Yeah, so somebody else washed the car. The car was 100% passive, not even passive aggressive, just passive. And washed clothes, for example. And you can say he had his car washed. This is a very specific construction, by the way. I have a class devoted to it. But still, you say he had his car washed, which means that somebody else washed this car for him. So once again, he is passive. He was just a couch potato lying on his bed, doing nothing, and just relaxing. Also, past participle can be used and is actually always used to form perfect tenses. I mean, past perfect, present perfect, and future perfect. But be careful, it's not used in present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. So here, continuous beats perfect. It is stronger. And that's why continuous demands using a present participle, and only perfect without continuous. Just perfect is when we use past participle. Okay, sometimes past participle or passive participle is used to form passive. Well, not sometimes, always. Passive forms of verbs always demand using a past participle or passive participle. So, for instance, we might say that this book has just been read. Read. It is past participle. And all the forms of passive, if you take a closer look, have it at the end of the predicate. So I guess that I will devote one class to all passive forms, but we won't talk about them much now. Okay, and in addition, I want to tell you briefly about perfect participle. There's also perfect participle, and it is formed by adding the present participle having to a past participle. So examples would be having read, having written, having caught, and so on. So the meaningful verb here is the second one, the meaningful form. Perfect participle is used to talk about the past, about a finished action in the past. So when you had done something and then you did something else, like having read the book, he put it away with a smile. Here put, I use the second variant of put because we need to use past simple here. So a perfect participle is very often used in a combination with past simple. So it's actually always used in the past. I mean, in a sentence where the past is used. So another example, having broken up with him, she realized that she's all alone and she needs to eat some chocolate or do something crazy. So, perfect participle, once again, you put the word having, always, having plus past participle of the full verb, of the meaningful verb. The verb which contains information. Like here, we say having broken up. Break up is the meaningful verb here. So she broke up with him, and after that, she realized something. Having broken up with him, she realized that she is lonely. Okay, so stick together, people. Now, what else? There's also one more thing, a very interesting one connected with present participles. You can say something like, she came running into the room. Here we talk about simultaneous actions. And in most cases, here we deal with verbs denoting motion and posture. So verbs like sit, stand, run, come, go, and so on. A couple of more examples. She went hurrying outside. She was in a hurry, she went outside, and she was hurrying. Like she went hurrying. Two simultaneous actions which are quite closely connected. Or she sat reading a book. Here it sounds more natural. Or she stood talking to a friend, and so on. Such constructions also possible. As you can see, present and past participles are very popular in English. They're used everywhere in different kinds of constructions and in different kinds of sentences and so on. Now, at the end of this class, your job is to practice just a little bit. I will give you a couple of sentences and your job is to try to find a mistake. There are mistakes there, correct them, and then you will have a good practice and you will understand the topic better. So that's it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video lesson. If you did, please like it, press the button, and I'm going to see you next time. I hope so, at least. Happy English and Russian practice. Bye-bye.